An important part of your writing assignments will be planning your persuasive strategies. When you plan your persuasive strategies, you want to listen and respond flexibly to what you hear from your audience, from your peer reviewers, perhaps even from the sources that you're working with. You want to focus on your readers' goals and values. This harkens back to the idea of the reader-centered approach or the audience-centered approach. You'll want to address and learn from your readers' concerns and counter-arguments. This will mean doing some investigation of walking around in the shoes of the people that you're trying to convince. What type of arguments will they present against your document, against your concerns? Reason soundly. Perhaps I shouldn't have to say that. It's an obvious thing, but be careful about the way you reason out these persuasive strategies. Take a look at them. Don't just go with your gut. A lot of times that kind of emotional start is not a good way to present a persuasive document. There are all sorts of tricks that you can use to help you in this reasoning process. Graphing, using mind mapping if you're familiar with that, outlining documents. Do something that gets it outside of what may just be an emotional reaction. You want to organize to create a favorable response. Now that doesn't mean hiding the bad details or it doesn't mean being unethical, but it does mean crafting a document that presents your opinions or the persuasive nature of the document in a orderly and acceptable fashion for your reader. You want to build an effective relationship with your readers. 99% of persuasive writing, of anything, of persuading anyone, is understanding what your reader is thinking. And that requires you to build an effective relationship. You're not just walking in cold. This isn't a cold call and you're trying to guess what someone's thinking. You want to evaluate and understand what your reader is thinking and how they are thinking it. You want to determine whether to appeal to a reader's emotions. It might be appropriate to look at their emotions. Perhaps it's an emotional topic. You will need to appeal to their emotions and address their emotions. You don't want to manipulate emotions, but there are a fair number of topics that do elicit an emotional response, and while you are working to reason out your approach, there are going to be moments that you will want to at least understand your reader's emotions. You'll want to experience a bit of empathy for their side and for what they might believe or not believe or disagree with you about. As far as a global guideline, you want to adapt your persuasive strategies to your reader's cultural background. So often we get locked into the silos of a specific culture, because that's where we're at every day. Day by day we go to our job, we go to school, and we're in a particular culture. There are rules, the unspoken rules and mores that we follow and accept without even thinking about them. However, if you're writing globally, if this is going to an audience that may not share a common cultural background with you, you have to carefully study how their cultural background experiences will relate to your persuasive document. Of course, as with all things, you want to approach it ethically. You want to use ethical persuasive techniques in your readings, and I'm sure you've encountered it in other times, and perhaps a personal experience. There are times that you can apply unethical persuasive techniques and unfairly influence the outcome of what should be a reasonable discussion. You want to stay away from that. The old saying is, what goes around comes around. It certainly applies here. If you approach a topic or a person or an audience in an unethical way, it will come back to haunt you. I can guarantee you. It may not be tomorrow, but it could be weeks down the road, when you least expect it. It's much better just to approach the entire situation ethically. And with that said, those are some basic persuasive strategies that you can take with you into your writing. They're not absolute, they're not complete. These are just some steps to consider, and certainly not being an all-inclusive document. Consider these building blocks for your persuasive strategy. Thank you.